Welcome back to Poland and the round one coverage of the Wrocław Open 2025 presented by Innova. You're watching PRKD Media Europe. My name is Chris and by my side is Björn.
Welcome back also from my side. We are still watching the MA1 competition. Chris, how did you like the first 9 holes?
First 9 holes were really entertaining. It's the more challenging part of the course. So we didn't see too many birdies, but we saw a solid front 9. I expect more birdies, a lot more birdies now on the back 9, since this is the more attackable part of the course.
Yeah, I completely agree. We also see longer holes, longer shots, a little bit more action maybe than on the front 9.
Let's see.
We're gonna start with hole 10, a par 3. It's the shortest hole of the course, but we have a triple mendo right in the middle of the fairway at around 50 meters. If you miss that and the fence, then you have to go to a drop zone, which is right in the middle of the mendo.
It's about 20 meters to the pin from there, I would say.
But that one is fine. So the fence stops the discs in front of the mendo. Oh, that was close.
He almost makes it through. That's a bit unfortunate. Jakub going for a forehand. Ooh, ends up pretty far to the right, just in front of the fence.
That's tricky from there to get through the mendo.
And Jan, what is... he goes over the fence, hits a tree, and is OB.
What the heck, he said.
Jakub, he's just left with a roller. Doesn't get the cut, so it's just rolling straight and towards the trees. I think he's got to play for bogey here. Solid bit by Jan. Sorry, by Ingemas. And Edgar's just misses to the right.
Now the drop zone putt from Jan. Also a little short.
Yeah, and here's Jakub. That was a nice layup. I think everything he was able to do from there.
So Ingemas and Edgaras will start the back 9 with a par. And we have, fortunately, 2 bogeys left.
Hole 11, par 3, 120 meters. We got OB on the left and on the right. There's a little island here towards the left, which is also OB. So what we will see probably are 4 hyzer shots, backhand, most likely.
Yeah, most of the players go with a backhand hyzer here. Rarely you can see people trying to go on the left side of this little island with a more straighter shot. But of course...
Yeah, because the gap between the island and the left side is a lot tighter than here on the right side. Yeah, Ingemas also gives with the hyzer and wow, beautiful shot.
You don't see that often.
Parks it. Yeah, it seems like Jakub is also lining up a hyzer shot here. Oh, that flips up, goes straight, and he's got to avoid the OB.
And the cameraman.
And the cameraman goes out of bounds. A close one. Oh, that's a rare backhand shot from Jan. Normally he shoots everything just sidearm.
Ends up a little bit short, yeah.
Pretty solid. Yeah, Jakub here to save his par. Gives that a run. Misses it. Wow, I'm always so impressed by how much spin he gets out of this disc or out of his hand.
Fancy try.
Yeah, another athletic move. We saw it earlier on the 4th hole. Wow, he's probably going to the gym 3-4 times a week.
Okay, that was a tap-in birdie. Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we have 2 pars, a birdie and a bogey. Hole 12, another par 3. Shorter one, 75 meters. We have OB on the left, on the right, and behind the basket. I would say most dangerous OB is behind the basket, that you go a little bit too long. Fairway should be wide enough to stay in bounds.
There are also these two guardian trees. Actually, a lot of players hit these trees, but it's still a good spot. If you just hit them there, you're left with probably an 8 meter, 7 meter putt. And here you go, Jan is going for the forehand again.
Right in the middle of these trees.
But ends up in circle 1. Oh, Jakob, wow.
Oh, actually, that one was in danger.
Playing with fire here. Oh, wow. Can he get his birdie? No, over the basket. Probably ends up with a par. Let's see if Ingemars can convert the birdie. Oh, too low.
You cannot see it here in the trees, but it's a very windy place on this field with all the holes. So putting from circle's edge is not that easy.
Agreed. But this is a hole, I think, it's almost a must-have birdie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty short and the fairway is kind of wide, so you want to take a birdie home.
I did not actually. I went long, so.
It's a bummer, Björn. But see, that's why you're not on the lead card here, on the feature card.
So, but no way you're going far.
Yeah, it's hole 13. It's a 200-meter hole. It's actually designed to go straight off the tee. You try to park it at around 100 meters, and then you're left with another 100 meters to the pin. But here we can see Edgaras is going a completely different line. I'm not sure if that was the intended direction by the tournament director and course designer, but you see that quite often, that players try to go around these trees here because you're very open.
Jan
normally
tries the same line, but ending up a little bit more right. But still an impressive distance.
So here Ingemars shows us the designed, the way it's designed.
I think it's smart to go on the right side, because you avoid these little trees and bushes in the middle. So maybe less risk to go right. But I think the cooler shot is to go left.
For sure. Yeah, you wanna get the full flight. Typically you wanna have a hyzer to flip, and then just want to see it ride it all the way.
Okay, that was the perfect play.
See, there's nothing in the way for Edgaras. It's super open, but he ends up short.
Jan ended up behind these tree.
And that is so impressive.
I
mean, he was on
huge.
his knees, and that was probably 90 meters.
I cannot throw that far.
Even while standing.
With the one up,
Yeah, super impressive. Hits the cage on the left side. And Ingemars takes home his birdie. So considering that Jan almost ended up in the trees over there and had to shoot from a knee, that's an impressive birdie, I would say.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we have 3 birdies and a par.
Not bad.
Going to hole 14.
A par 3, 84 meters. It's our island hole. So you see the white circle here, that's the island. It's a very speedy ground over there. So what we most often see is a forehand, hyzer, and then you got to be careful there because you can get the skip and skip out of the island. If you miss the island, you have to go to a drop zone, which is about 20 meters in front of the basket.
Yeah, right around the birches. You can also keep it a little bit short and skip into the island. That's what I saw a lot.
You also have to be a little bit careful of the cables up there. We saw a couple of players hit these cables, and then you have no chance of making the island. Edgaras goes a little bit high, oof, and barely makes the island. Nice birdie.
Okay, we have 4 of 4 in the island, so
that
maybe
would be
the chance for the first star frame.
Yes, second birdie in. Third one.
Very special camera angle. Here it is.
And now we got Ingemas. Yes, also gets the birdie. That's our first star frame. 4 birdies. All right, seems like the group is heating up now.
Yeah, we're going to one of my favorite holes. The one and only par 5. We have more than 300 meters, a very wide fairway. You want to avoid the OBs on the left and on the right, and in the end also behind the basket. You have to be careful with the left side from the tee, because the right side is a little bit blocked by the trees, as you can see here. But after you pass them, you have a more open fairway, just with some little trees in the middle.
We saw a beautiful first shot by Jan, avoiding the trees on the right side.
That one's also looking very good. If it's not ending up in the trees. Oh no.
That looks good out of his... Oh no. Looked good out of his hand, but...
Nice it.
Hits the branches over there. From there it's really difficult. If you have a bazooka, you can reach the pin and go for a birdie, but it's 2 very, very, very long throws. This is heading towards the OB on the right side, but it's still safe.
Nice shot.
So the fairway here is about 70 meters wide, so the OBs are not in danger. Wow, almost hits the
cameraman
here.
is in danger.
Yeah.
You said,
But this is a common mistake, that you go OB left.
But
not for Edgaras.
No, that's fine. Good distance, good placement shot, and maybe about 80 meters left.
I think Ingemas gave that a little bit too much angle. I'm not sure, but he didn't have too many options just behind of the 2 trees over there. Wow, again, a close one, close to the OB line, using the whole entire fairway. Yep, this nice ground
play. Sneaking into the circle.
Oh, he doesn't like it out of his hand. But that was a great shot, actually. Maybe it was his happy clap.
Maybe. Yeah, and just a standard approach for Edgaras.
Yes.
Nice shot.
Not for everyone, but for Edgaras.
Okay, that one is for birdie.
Wow.
Nice.
Ingemas with the turkey here, really heating up. Jakob to save his par.
Still a good result after hitting an early tree.
Three birdies and a par. Well done. Hole 16, par 3, 92 meters. The typical play you see is just going over all of these trees. You can go high as a backhand, high as a forehand. It's up to you. There's a little bit of a gap on the left side, so you don't have to go all the way. You can lay it up right, not there. That's the out of bounds, but probably 20 meters behind it. You can play it safe.
Yeah, and to be careful, a little bit too wide and it could end up out of bounds, like we saw for Jan.
Yeah, I think none of these players are going for a layup. I think everyone is just going for the basket. That was perfect. Yes, perfect shot. Oh,
that looks too wide.
This flipped a little bit. And yes, too wide. Hits a tree and lands OB. It's still not the end of the world if you go OB there. You still have a chance to save your par. But unfortunately, Jan and Jakob couldn't save their pars. But a super birdie here from Ingemas. Great, great shot. And finally, we can see the fist bump here. Yes.
He's playing a very good back nine. -5 already with 2 holes left. And unfortunately, 2 bogeys here for Jakob and Jan. Hole 17, another short par 3. You see a lot of trees in the fairway, and again we have OB on the left and behind the basket, also on the right, but I would say the one on the right is not
in danger.
Not a danger.
There's also a mandatory right there on the right side. You have to play left of it, but typically not a problem.
Maybe to avoid the big backhand hyzer, or to save the fairways of the other holes, yeah. But the common play is to do the side arm straight with a little bit finish to the right.
Wow.
That was long.
Jan goes deep. Oh, Jakob really fast, and he walks away immediately.
He played very fast the whole round, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's also a little bit of frustration. I mean, he had a couple of really close ones and couldn't make those.
Edgaras just laying up for par. He's still bogey free, I guess.
He is indeed, yes. Very solid round. And Jan here to, wow, capture the birdie. Jakob hits the top of the basket and gets a skip. A long comebacker here. No. Oh. High chains left. Ingemas for par. I think Jakob.
Okay.
Almost a little trick shot
Well,
here.
we're doing trick shots now, yeah.
Yeah, but
yes, chance.
unfortunately,
1 hole
bogey.
left.
Yes.
2.
And we're going to the final hole, 175 meters. We got OB on the left and on the right. There's a little pole right there to the left. This is where you will see most discs land, and from there you have a probably 60, 70 meter approach. So you can go backhand hyzer, forehand hyzer. You can get the full flight out of your backhand. Anything is possible.
Yeah, there's one tree you can see on the fairway on the right. So Jan is aiming for the left.
Oh, but it has a lot of angle. And, oh boy.
Probably safe. Should be safe.
Ingmar's lining up the backhand.
Oh, it's fading early.
That's high and left. Wow. So now we saw one side of the... Oh, that actually goes OB. That's a bummer. The fence is already OB. I was going to say we already saw one side of the OB and now we saw the other side of the OB line. Now we know the entire fairway. That's a first for me to see a roller here on this hole. Can it? Yes, that was a great shot.
And that was a rare shot, but ended up very nice.
Yeah, Edgaras
just plays it solid. Hyzer.
Parks it again. Yeah. He's so precise in his approach game. Unbelievable.
And Hyzer sidearm for Jan. Also parked.
Beautiful. Jakob goes really high. And great. So here you have a couple of flags in the background and you can see it's actually quite windy.
Yeah, we're close to hole 1 now and hole 2. General, a very windy area.
But now it's super calm. Well done, Jakob. Nice finish here.
Strong finish.
Nice birdie for Jan.
Ending up in -5.
Probably another birdie, yes, for Edgaras. And Ingmar takes home a par. And that's it, folks. The first round is in the books. Edgaras bogey-free with a -6, currently second. Followed by Jan with a -5, tied for third. Ingemar's -4, tied for fifth. And Jakub a little bit behind, +3, 26 right now. And here's your leaderboard. We got Marius Brosch from Norway with an impressive -9, followed by Edgaras -6, Jan with a -5, and Rich Roger Minister also with a -5. This will be your new lead card coming up in round 2. Thanks for watching. Have fun and enjoy. See you then.